How long are you going to stay?
Well,
You're not going to take an hour, are you? How long are you going to stay? You're not going to take an hour, are you?
well, we're going to be here all day.
Oh.
John and I are.
And here and I ordered for a thing to go here to eat.
Well, we'll have lunch after a while.
Yeah, I mean, it's John's job, and he said, "Were you carrying the dog to the store with you?" And I said, "Indeed, I'm not." And I went back and I said, Roy, go on out of here now.
Where is Roy, Memaw?
Right up here in this other side of the
I
bed.
haven't seen Roy.
Right, say, you can go visit him. You want to go visit him? Want me to go with you? See that you behave him? Look at those pretty little white things.
Yeah, what are those?
Darling.
Little chrysanthemums?
No, it has another name though. What is it?
I thought those were chrysanthemums. Where is Roy, Memaw?
Right up here in this other side of the
I
bed.
haven't seen Roy.
Right, say, you can go visit him. You want to go visit him? Want me to go with you? See that you behave him?
Good morning there. Good morning there. What you doing?
Cold man.
Good morning there.
Hmm?
Good morning there.
Oh.
You've been up since the crack of dawn?
Found money?
Huh? You've been up here since the crack of dawn?
Oh, good.
I've been sleeping the day away.
Oh, good.
I didn't think you'd like that. I thought you might frown upon that.
No, I
No?
don't care. We like
No?
to have him say. Because then he goes back and sits down, and then we play till we tell him he
So
can
you
play
can't
some more.
anymore. Huh?
Yeah.
What a great day. Look at the
And
sunshine.
those other people are the Grays that work over there and work for the school. They start in having to play on out of sight. Here, the dog.
Roy dog.
Roy dog,
I don't
yeah.
know where he's been all morning, Memaw. I don't know what he could have done.
Memaw, can you see that barn over there?
Yeah, indeed I can.
Yeah. Got any cows over there?
I don't know how many corns. No, I think they did all his little first little up to 7 to 6.
Calves and all.
I haven't touched them except the 40 that they usually ask about the 40 cents. And if they're there to do it, if they don't come, why, it's nothing going to hurt it.
Well, how about the tobacco barn? Do you ever get up into the tobacco barn anymore?
Well, what is tick 'em up buying?
Tobacco barn.
Oh, I see. I see. Well, you were just in your own yellow gun, you and the son and gal. Go on, dance.
Yeah, dance.
Oh, I see. I see. Well, yeah, we're getting freezing you to death.
No,
Come on.
this is fine. Just standing here is really good.
Oh, I see. I see. Well, what are these white pieces over here? Look, some more white ones here.
That's one of those old milk bottles that blew out there against the fence.
Well, here we're getting freezing you to death.
No,
Come
this is fine. Just
Huh?
standing here is really good. Tell me, Memaw,
Yeah.
did you teach school? You used to teach school?
Yes, I taught one country school 1 year at a time.
A one-room school?
Well, one room in country, so
Do you have the Burgess boys?
the Burgesses came sort of late after they came old enough to get along, and he would go out and he wanted them, he loved them, and he would get win has 10 cents or 12 or 15 cents. And I think he put enough down to get $1 just around by his cousins. They had big families, big girls, and say, oh, I wish my pig would send that. I wish I could send my horse wasn't hurt and all that stuff. So they had just been happy, been pleased and happy, not striding, not a fussing, anything like that. They don't do it at all.
Did you teach over at the Holly Springs School?
No.
You didn't.
No.
That's where I went to school, first grade,
At Haven.
Holly Springs.
No, I guess was that ready for its first day then. I guess I was in. No, I didn't. Unless it was the last 2 or 3 days that just come along now. Probably would be what is in there. You would see it more than what you would have seen from this. So. Because in those days, well, we would get sort of in a hurry. Now we got to get that man here in the bow back, and that's how to go. And
Want to look down toward the pond?
yeah, it's nice down there. Isn't that pretty?
It really is. Very pretty. Walk over that way.
Where did Buddy go? He didn't go. Huh?
Buddy's over at his house.
Oh, is it over at the house? Oh, and he didn't come on in, did he?
No, well, he'll be over after a while, I guess.
Yeah.
He comes over quite often.
Oh, yeah. He'll be over. He knows he wouldn't be polite if he wasn't going to say how to do, or hello or something.
That's right. He cares about them.
Yeah. And he would go out and he wanted them, he loved them. And I think he put enough down to get $1 just around by his cousins. They had big families, big girls, and say, oh, I wish my pig would send that. I wish I could send my horse wasn't hurt and all that stuff. So they don't do it at all. There's some real black went across there then, but I guess some of the men have red horses, dark red, some of them.
I don't see anything.
Then it was right through here. I was walking along and looked up.
I want to come say hello. I don't want to come say hello. Here he comes. He's being a little shy, but I think he can.
Yeah, he'll be
Here he comes.
along
Come on,
that
little
then.
yellow cat. Come on, little yellow cat. Oh, he's a lazy one. You must have fed him too well, Memaw.
Yeah, we could walk down. Oh, if we took time off, we could be remember number of fine things you'd find them.
Yeah? Did you remember, Memaw, back up, excuse me. You remember this barn back here? Over up this way, around this corner? Did you used to have a lot of little calves up there? I remember
Yeah.
years ago that you used to keep some calves
Yeah.
that way. Are they up? I don't believe.
They're up there now. They
Are
just
they?
put them there so they don't go over in the
Over into the swamp
Yeah.
area?
Go around, get water for them. And they flop around to give flies from hitting her. The ones that have a biting them.
Mm-hmm.
There comes one out now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's pretty. That's pretty. She'll be sitting on there riding, winds, I reckon. There comes one out now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, that many at that side. Red, you're gonna have the assy. What you do with Mr. Master? Yeah, Master. Yeah, Roy. Yeah, Roy. I think he liked his trip outside. Where you, Roy? Thought you were getting your hair brushed, and here you out here. I don't know where you've been. Every place you could find.
Hi. For someone who was born in 1921, I think I've had some experiences that a lot of people my age didn't have. And part of that was because I was born in southern Maryland and lived on this farm. And REA hadn't arrived until some years later. So I grew up with wood stoves and no telephones and no electric lights and no running water. I remember one ride in a buggy pulled by a horse, and I thought, maybe I'd just talk about some of those things.
I can't say that I really have a lot of real vivid memories of the farm. The farm's been a real constant for me, I think. I remember being very young and being really shocked when I realized that all little children didn't have grandmothers who lived on farms. I mean, it was kind of devastating for them. I was lucky. One of the lucky ones is what I realized. But
the problem of the Saturday night bath, for instance, occurred in the kitchen in front of the wood stove in the round tin tub. And the cleanest person got in the tub first, and then the next person. And I usually, I think, got in there about second, but then my brothers who had been out and playing in dirtier climes were next, and the water was getting a little thick by the time the bath was over. Then we'd dash upstairs into bed before we froze to death because there was no central heat in the house.
there were good days and bad days if we would come and visit the farm, but I remember we would always had the country cousins who would call us city slickers, whether we were or not, and coerce us into running through the barns or through the fields and doing all sorts of daring things, whether we really felt like we didn't or not. We sort of felt like we had to prove we were tough.
Just getting the water into the house, meant walking down to the well and pulling it up in the old oaken bucket and bringing it in and heating it up.
So I do remember a couple of times climbing up in the corn barn up these slats, terrible, tiny little wooden slats in the side of the corn barn where the corn was stored, the big ears of corn. And then up in the top there was a loft where they had wheat dust or something way up in the very top. And we climbed up there, my cousin and I, and we're sliding around in the wheat dust. And I have a little allergy problem. So we were sliding all around, so Susan gets a little bit of a cough and wheeze and the nose is running and feels terrible. So I don't exactly know what happened. I suppose one of the cousins climbed down and went running for Mama and had her come back. And I never have had a problem with heights or anything, but did experience like some vertigo or something to that effect, and trying to get down out of the barn. And I've never felt such a loss of breath. I was having trouble breathing, and then I couldn't get down. I was very disoriented as far as I couldn't find the slat for my foot in the corn barn. So that was real traumatic, real traumatic. Something that we all survived, though.
And so we had coal oil lamps. You know, today you might call them kerosene lamps, but we call them coal oil lamps. And it was my grandmother's job to keep the shades clean and the wicks trimmed and the oil in the lamps. And I can remember, I guess, some traumatic experiences of being left in the dark because somebody would pick up the lamp, you know, and take it to another room. And I remember saying, "Wait for me, it's dark in here."
No vivid memories whatsoever, you know, I can't remember a thing. But we all teamed up with our favorite cousins, and or the ones nearest our age, which probably were our favorite cousins. And we must have put together about 5 different cabins at one point down in those woods under the direction of our oldest uncle. And they were quite elaborate things. The boys, of course, and the older cousins had a real fortress cabin, but I do remember that my cabin, the one that I built with the cousins closest to me, had a very nice moss-covered floor, sort of very homey, at least. And they stood for years and years. I remember going back there not so many years ago, and there are remains, which are real touching and kind of, you know, sort of comforting to go back and see that those things still stand.
Of course, we had the good old outhouse. When my cousin would visit in the summertime, when we were maybe 10 years old, we'd go up through the garden path, and to get the best view of the sunset, we would climb up onto the outhouse roof and sit there and watch the sun go down. I walked to school down the hill and out to a little one-room school about a tenth of a mile, I guess, away. First 2 grades I went to that school. And
there were the walks through the woods and the pond, the ice pond where we used to skate maybe in our shoes or something. But a lot of good times, a whole lot of good times down here. And my couple of tries at horseback riding, getting run away with down here a few times with Vicky, the pinto pony. And that was good. So
I guess I'm talking about You've Come a Long Way, Baby, because, you know, from those days, then I went on to college and got a teaching job and met the love of my life and had 6 gorgeous children and, you know, living in a nice house in Frederick on the side of the mountain with all the conveniences, including cars to drive.
Why don't you talk about the farm now, today and this weekend?
Well, this is sort of a heavy weekend emotionally because it's the end of an era. Mother's going to go into a nursing home tomorrow, and we think that's going to be really very good for her, and I don't feel too badly about, you know, the fact that she's going to be in a different setting because I know she's going to be well cared for. Also, if we find that she is not adjusting to it well, we're keeping an option that we can bring her back here. And of course, part of this came about because Daddy died a month ago, and he, fought the idea of going into a nursing home. So we didn't insist that it happen when he was alive. So we have a lot of concerns about what's going to happen to this house and all the things that are in it. This house having been built in 1787. And some of the things in this house have been in it since the house was, built, even though it's changed hands, from the person who built it to a second owner and then came into our family as the third owner. I think there are things here that just sort of passed along. And now it looks as though it's unclear whether things are going to be completely closed up, scattered, the place sold, or what. So that's part of the drama that's occurring here this weekend. And so it's a little heavy. It's not an ordinary weekend. But it's really, I think, we'll appreciate very much the experience we've had today in filming and having a record of this particular day.
Are the cows out there?
Yeah. Just the milk cows in here. What are there, 5?
Mm-hmm.
5 mama cows and 1 papa cow. And 6 baby cows. And he just had his breakfast at his 5. He had to have his.
Have any horses?
Yeah, they're out in that field. Right over there on the other side, on the white side, where the grass is.
What are the horses' names? Rastus?
Rastus is the green one. And Frank is a boy. Frank Tibbs works with him. He works when he does sometimes. Sometimes he doesn't. But it has taken some time, they play, and then you have to watch. But now he's drying out of his suitcase, so he'll have the whole works, I reckon. Yeah, I could have put 1 or 2 potatoes in there, but that's all right. We can eat those tonight or tomorrow. Don't have to eat any tomatoes.
You really like living at Holly Springs?
Oh my gosh, that's all I've lived. I've been here for 100 years almost. It would be sort of surprising if didn't show up.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry, I mean, you're thinking that they can do a lot of things that if she chooses to do them. There's some real black went across there then, but I guess some of the men have red horses, dark red, something.
I don't see anything.
Then it was right through here. I was walking along and looked up. Mm-hmm. Pretty. He's one of those that were timber one. I was thinking she had. But you don't have to feel. You feel you got to do it. Don't just. If they want to laugh, let them laugh. Kick, let them kick. High fly. Roy, where are you? Oh, well, he must have been over there in that field. Roy! Roy Linton, up on top there? No, that's a cat. Will you come in now and get your wrinkles off?
Wrinkles? Who has wrinkles? You don't have any.
Nobody that I know, no.
No, your wrinkles are beautiful.
Well, thank you. Hold my hand and make a bow.
Make a bow.
Yeah.